What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Hope everybody's having a great day or night whenever you're watching this. I think the Atlanta Hawks and their fans should be so stoked for this upcoming season because I think they're a true title contender. Like their depth and talent on that roster is insane. They haven't had a roster like this in probably my entire lifetime in terms of multiple guys that can play multiple positions, a superstar player, a legit number two option in Dejounte Murray, who I'm going to talk about. John Collins being put back into his third option role where he kind of seems to thrive a little bit. I just love the depth and the makeup of this team. Before I get into it, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And if you enjoy this kind of content, please like the video. But let's start with Dejounte Murray because this is going to give Trae Young another guy that can control the offense, run the offense by himself, create for other guys, is going to be able to get his own shot. He's not the greatest three-point shooter, but he can score from pretty much all over the court. He's got a really good mid-range, can finish. His passing is really good. Rebounding is there. He's an elite defensive player. I've been following Dejounte for probably 4 years now. And he's one of my favorite players to watch because he's like a jack of all trades and he can do a lot of everything. And you're going to be able to put him on the other team's best offensive guard or small forward. He's going to be able to take that pressure off of Trae. And now Trae it'll be easier to hide him on defense because obviously we know his defense is not a big part of his game, but Dejounte's, it is. And it's going to allow Trae to be more off the ball and play more in a Steph role. And I think it's going to benefit his body over an 82-game season, where he's not taking all the load is not on him. It's not going to be all in his legs, all in his back. So he's going to have somebody else now that is going to be able to do a lot of the same things he can do. And I think that's a great thing to have because Trae hasn't had anybody like that, like Dejounte on this team before. Bogdanovich is good, but he's not Dejounte, is what I'm trying to say here. I also love that they added Justin Holiday. He's a fantastic 3-and-D player. Mo Harkless, too. I think he's still got some burn left in him. They added more size and more depth to their wings, which they really didn't have. They didn't have a lot of great options. They didn't have a lot of great backup guard options or, somebody that could really run the offense at a high level like Dejounte Murray can. But getting Justin Holiday, that's going to be awesome. He shoots very well from three, can defend a lot of people. Mo Harkless is kind of a similar. He's an older version of what Justin Holiday is, and he's not quite as good as Holiday, but I think he can provide valuable minutes if he's needed. And then I think you got DeAndre Hunter too, who's coming into. He had a pretty good year last year. He had a huge playoff game. I think at the game that they ended up losing, he had over 30 points to where the series got ended. But he's a 3-and-D player who has shown that his offense is getting better and better. And if he's able to take another leap, like these guys tend to do in their third, fourth years, that's going to be so crucial for them because that gives them just who do you put your weakest defender on if you're the other team now? Because it's okay, can't put him on Trae, he's going to get destroyed. Can't put him on Dejounte, he's going to get destroyed. Can't put him on Hunter if he's pretty good, he's going to get destroyed. John Collins can give you 20 or 30 any given night. And then Capella's a center where your weakest defender is probably not your center. So if you're a guard or a forward, this is going to be a team you do not want to play because you're going to get switched on to somebody. And it's okay, I got to guard this guy just as hard as I have to guard the other guy. Switched on another guy. And it's just going to be a nightmare for opposing defense to try and go up against them. And I think to talk about the Hawks defense, getting these 3-and-D guys like Justin Holiday and Mo Harkless, and then getting Dejounte Murray, the defense alone right there just skyrocketed. And their defense was a problem last year whenever I watched them, because they didn't have a lot of depth, honestly. They didn't have a lot of options. So now that they have them, I think the defense is going to improve. The offense should get even better. And it's going to be a really unique team to watch. You still have Clint Capella, who can get you 13 to 15 rebounds any night, 10 to 18 points usually, block shots, really good interior presence. And then I'm a huge fan of Onyeka Okongwu. I think he's going to be really, really good. I think he has a good role in the NBA ahead of him. He was touted as a defensive kind of versatile big that could do a little bit of, lobs, protecting the rim, setting good screens, rebounding. He's not a shooter or anything like that, but I think he's got really good potential. And, he's on a team now where it's his role doesn't have to be as big, but I think that's good for some people because then they can just thrive in something that's better, more crafted for them, where it's okay, coach, all I got to do is go out there, set great screens for Trae or Dejounte or Bogdanovich, whoever's running the point, rebound, offensive rebound, just be aggressive on defense. It's going to make his life a lot easier than it was last year. And, this is think it's his third or fourth year. I think it's his third year that he's going into. You tend to see a jump in the third year for these guys that are centers and bigs. They start to figure out their NBA game a little bit more. And I'm excited to see if he takes one, because if he does that, him and DeAndre Hunter, if they both do that, beating this team in a 7-game series is not going to be like it was last year. I'll tell you that much. And even with the draft, they drafted AJ Griffin, who should have got picked way higher than he went. I thought he was a top 12, 13 prospect. And I think he fell to like, what, 16, 17, or 18? I forget what number he was picked at by the Hawks. But he's a shooter. So you're just adding players that will fit Trae Young and Dejounte Murray's game around those guys. And then you are like, it's just, you have a team of like a lot of different guys can do different things. So you have options. And I feel like, we've seen this super team era where it's like, okay, we got the 2 or 3 superstars and then like just a bunch of mid-level, veterans minimum, guys that really only good at one thing. Typically it's like, okay, he can shoot, but he can't defend. This guy can rebound, but he can't really do anything else. Like there's so many, like these teams, like super teams have so many weaknesses, and that's why they haven't won in recent years. It's been the teams that have good depth. Like look at the Warriors last year. They've got their superstar in Steph Curry, and then their ancillary stars in, you got your Draymond Greens, your Jordan Pooles, your Klay Thompsons, your Andrew Wiggins. Like they had a lot of good depth guys that could do different things and complemented each other. And then you look at the year before that, it was the Bucks. You had Giannis Antetokounmpo, who is a true superstar, in my opinion, the best player in the league. And, you had Chris Middleton, who's really good. Drew Holiday is really good. Pat Connaughton's great off the bench. Bobby Portis. Like there were these teams that have won recently, even the Lakers from the 3 years ago. You had LeBron, obviously, who was at the top of his game. Anthony Davis was insane. Then you had Alex Caruso, who was a great defender. You had Avery Bradley, who was able to hit threes, even though he didn't even play in the bubble. You had guys like JaVale McGee, who were playing critical minutes, even though they didn't play, certain games that they went with different matchups because it worked better. Danny Green, who's hitting threes, or well, in the bubble, he wasn't really doing that, but like he was defending at a high level. Like the teams just had different guys that could do different things. And this is what that Hawks team has, in my opinion. And I think that's something that is important for championship teams to have, is guys that can do different things, depth, and obviously you need talent to win. And I think they have all of that. And I don't think people are paying attention to them. I think people said, oh, they got Dejounte Murray. That's cool, whatever. I don't think they really understood what that's going to do for their team. And then getting Justin Holiday, drafting AJ Griffin, just building such a really, really talented team that I think they're like a legit title contender. I don't think they're like a fringe title contender. I think they're one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the East. You got the Bucks, who I think are a shoe-in contender, like they should be anytime you have Giannis. You have the Celtics, who are awesome. And then, after those 2 teams, in my opinion, probably the Hawks. And then you could probably, like, I don't really know how you even judge the Nets right now, because we don't even know what their team's going to look like. And then, the Heat are really good, but we've kind of seen what their peak is. They didn't change anything. All they did was lose PJ Tucker. The Sixers are probably going to be a little bit better because they got a lot deeper. But I still like the Hawks to be able to be a top 3 or 4 team in the East next year and be a legit contender. Hawks fans, NBA fans, do you guys agree with that? Do you think that's possible with their roster makeup? Do you think that they're not quite there yet, or you just don't believe in Trae for some reason? I didn't even really talk about Trae that much. He's awesome. And, what they did is they basically made it to where a team like the Heat can't just come in and pencil in and just target him and try and take him away to beat the team, to beat the Hawks. So that won't be a thing again, unless, of course, knock on wood, barring injuries and stuff, which we never want to see. But yeah, Hawks fans, do you guys agree, or NBA fans, do you agree that this team is legit and that you like their makeup, you like the changes that they made? Obviously, the jury might still be out on Nate McMillan. I think he's a quality coach. He's not the top 5 or 6 coach in the league, but I think he can get it done. I'm excited for this team because I think this is a makeup around Trae Young we've never seen before, and it's going to be so fun to watch. And I'm going to be watching a lot of Hawks games this year because I think they're just going to be entertaining as can be. They're going to be good. They're going to be good this year. If I'm wrong on that one, then I'm wrong, but I don't think it's a hot take. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And if you enjoy this kind of content, please like the video. But Atlanta Hawks fans, y'all should be stoked for this season. I'm not even a fan of the team, but I'm going to be watching some games for sure. It's going to be awesome. Done here. Peace.